we go. Now speaker record. I
Oh,
was.
Tosin. Okay, how do we get our videos to work?
So you just need to, I think you should be able to, you should find the camera and
I do. I have it on, but all I see is just black. Oh, look, there's Ross.
was
Yep.
yeah.
So what is going on? Let me go.
Just it's a button at the bottom.
Yeah, it's on the on the bottom, yeah.
Push to come on. There it is.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
There we
I
go.
had to change the camera from the laptop to my actual thing on the top.
Yeah.
So
Technology's a bane.
Are you
Sorry.
Are you with the Financial Sense, or are you, because it seemed like you were answering questions, or do you use it?
Oh, I'm with Financial Sense. So I'm
Oh,
going
you
to
are.
I'm going to go off camera now and let you have your just talk about
Okay, perfect. So you're our unofficial moderator. You're not really moderating, but you're in the room if we have questions.
Exactly.
Perfect. So is anybody else using Financial Sense? Doreen, you're muted, and so is Jessica.
Probably a reason.
I was.
I am too.
Oh, there was a reason you didn't want. Okay.
You were, but you weren't anymore.
I'm excited because currently we've been using Lisio, and I don't want to badmouth them because they're a fantastic product, but there's just things that are missing for us as a bookkeeping firm. We don't do tax, and they just seem to be more geared towards tax. So we're starting to kind of look around, and when this event came up, we got excited about the possibility of a workflow application that's geared more towards what we're doing, which is exactly what Kelly Parks is talking about. I'm kind of excited, so I'm just interested to hear what other people are doing for their workflows.
I'll be honest, I came here to start streamlining them all over again because I just reopened the practice. I was working in the industry for import-export, and I thought, well, I got laid off. They couldn't afford me anymore. So, yeah, I thought, okay, I'm going back to this. And now, literally 2 months in, I've already got sitting on 4 engagement agreements out, and it's like, okay, I got to streamline this fast.
Right.
One of them's a realtor, one of them's a marketer slash, she does, influencer. And 2 others, well, one's actually taking his payments in crypto. So it's like, this is going to be challenges galore. And I need these workflows streamlined, PDQ.
Exactly. And we're, I've been doing this for many, many, many years, and I kind of have, my big challenge is that I have all of this in my head, and I need to get out of my head so that the rest of my team can, so I can kind of clone myself with them. And we niche in construction and real estate. So, we have a pretty good idea of what we want to do, but what we're missing is that, that automation. Like, how do we, here's where we start, here's the end, the end, and what are all the things that have to happen in the middle in general, because as you all know, every client is going to have their own nuances, but there's no reason why you can't have a general workflow laid out to guide you through the weeks and the month. And it looks like Financial Sense can do that. Oh, Jessica's. So Jessica, you are using it. Yeah, we use Keeper right now, and we love Keeper because it's directly connected to the QuickBooks files, and there's certain things in there that have really saved us, especially the 1099 section, in helping us to not miss payments inadvertently made for a vendor using a customer name. It finds that stuff. And so we don't have any intention of giving up Keeper, but we don't really like the client communication part of Keeper. So we were using Lisio, but Lisio, we want something that we can integrate with email. But the problem with Lisio is that the email integration, there's an email with the accountant copied, and because we have several accountants where we share multiple clients. So the email comes in and then it automatically associates with every client that CPA works on, and it's only for one, and so that's a problem. So we can't use that. So we're kind of hoping for, I don't know, we just have this wish list that may not be possible.
Having used it in the past, the Financial Sense, it does have an excellent email integration. It also has an excellent integration into QBO. Your whole client list, yes, your whole client list will import over.
Right, but does it, right, so but the Keeper integration, so when we connect to Keeper, it connects to the client's file directly. And so we have all these different sections where we can look at uncategorized transactions. We can look at, so we can, without being in their QuickBooks file, like I can assign tasks to my team in Keeper, and they're actually looking at, and you can, so the other thing about Keeper is if they assign, like in the case of the 1099, there was one client who had made payments to a vendor that also was a customer, and they had made like, I don't know, 12 payments to the customer name. We were able to mass update all those payments to the vendor name in one fell swoop. You can't do that directly in QuickBooks. You can mass classify, classes, locations, and categories, but you can't do names. Well, in Keeper you can, and so
Natalie,
yeah.
have you tried Right Tool? Or do you know anything about Right Tool?
I don't. Is that something that directly?
That keeps coming up.
I just discovered it literally like 2 months ago.
Look at it. Seriously, look at it.
RIGHT or ITE?
RIGHT.
I don't think Right Tool is going
Game
to allow you
changer.
to query on payees, though. I use Right Tool extensively, especially for copying, pasting large journal entries or zero bills inside of QuickBooks. But it really is an amazing tool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll look into that. Yeah, because like with Keeper, it has saved us hours of going in one at a time and changing the name on the check or changing the name on the expense. And
You could do that, I think, if you're in the bank register with Right Tool.
Yeah, but only if you're doing from the bank feed. You don't have to have Right Tool to do that, though.
Yeah.
But you're still doing it one at a time.
Right.
So
you're wanting to batch enter.
You open it up and you sort and you say, okay, you filter and then you check the box and you get a little pop up and you say change name to, and it boom does them all. You don't have to do one at a time.
We create rules to add payees for stuff like that, but it's all built right in QuickBooks.
No, but the problem is that if we have this particular client, they pay their own bills, they write their checks, and so if they grab the wrong name, we don't have control over that.
Yeah.
No, you don't. And the client's going to do that all the time, no matter what.
Yep. Exactly. And so with Keeper, that gives us control over fixing those issues. What we're missing in Keeper is what a lot of what Financial Sense, and then the stuff that we were using with Liscio. And I see Doreen Austin saying Liscio has gotten expensive, but what we love is the account details and the login details. But it looks like Financial Sense gives you that ability to keep all that, because one of our requirements is that we get a new client, they have to add us with our own credentials to all their bank accounts so that we can get in without harassing them for, login. So yeah, it's
2FA. Oh, I hate that stuff.
Yeah.
Constantly call. I know I'm gonna constantly call my clients. It's like two-factor authentication. As soon as it drops, it's like, yeah. They got to fix it themselves.
I don't know how many people are here have a WISP, but we have a WISP now, and that's one of our things is that everything is two-factor. Everything we do is set up either with authenticators or SMS codes, and so everything has to be. It's part of our policy.
Yep. I'm not used to, I don't know anything about Keeper. I've spoken to different people that use Keeper. There's pros and cons. And the only thing that I can see is, okay, so yes, you have access to QuickBooks. And maybe practice reporting is a little bit more robust. But for what I do know is that the workflow processes don't even come close to what Financial Sense can provide.
Right. And that's exactly. And that's
so
why
you have to figure out what's the most important. Do you want to be able to manage your team from a quick dashboard, or do you want to dial in on a QuickBooks? And so I would rather manage the team and let my team worry about getting into the client file. But it's more for you as the practice manager to take a look at what's my capacity, what's my team working on, where are we behind, what do we got to, what do we have coming up, and then how am I going to schedule future work?
Oh, absolutely. And
Yep.
I don't see any reason why, because I'm already using Liscio and Keeper. So if I dump Liscio and replace it with Financial Sense, then there's no reason why I can't have my full workflow laid out in Financial Sense and still give them Keeper to go in and do those detailed tasks that Keeper is so good at. Because for me, the cost to have both is still worth it because it pays for itself in getting the work done.
Well, you're still going to need both in the long run. Financial Sense is just practice management, and it's going to automate your workflows completely. So your emails, automation, and the workflows especially, like as we just saw with Kelly, and I can't recommend Kelly high enough. I've talked to her numerous times at QuickBooks Connect here in Toronto. She knows her stuff. She's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
She's also fun to party with. Okay. Anyways, it's a whole pile of us. We all party together. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Just the process of creating the workflows is what I think a lot of us are stymied on. And her workshop earlier than this gave me a few things to look at again, going, okay, this is where I kept getting stymied, because I'm like everybody else. My workflows are long when I first created them, and ridiculously long. I started at the top, and she's like, no, start at the bottom, start at the result. And it's like, yeah, I got to look at that. Start at the end point and then work backwards. I always start at the beginning.
Yeah, it's Stephen Covey, man. Begin with the end in mind.
Oh, you're taking me back to the 80s. Please don't do that.
Hey, for what
that was a long time ago.
I have bought this has been a few years ago. I've bought, and you can buy some of the Financial Sense processes from her if you want to go into that depth. And granted, this was even before the email templates. She built those templates inside the workflows so that you can see when and where you're going to be using those. But if you don't fully understand all the workflow automation, she's definitely a good place to start. I bit into pure bookkeeping, and that's where I really got into strong, detailed workflow processes. And I know I saw one gal from pure bookkeeping in here. I don't know what's in this group or one of the other sessions, and she's been very, very good at doing that level of detail. But the focus is, okay, if you've got to hire somebody new who doesn't understand how you do work, can your Financial Sense and your workflow processes take that ignorant person and walk them through exactly what they have to do each and every time so it is standardized?
That's where your that's where your
then to your workflow. I mean, how your workflow is set up, when things need to go to the client, when they need to be go to uncategorized, and
but it's also in your instruction manuals.
You're coming from pure bookkeeping, right?
No, actually, I'm coming from Tanya's bookkeepers boot camp.
Okay, because we did now, and the reason I'm asking you about the client manuals is that is indicative of pure bookkeeping.
It's also with Tanya.
Okay.
Tanya trained under Wickersham.
You know, I did Wickersham's coaching years and years ago. I haven't.
Yeah, he's good. I actually am part of the Woodard group. I do the Woodard coaching.
Been there.
Well, Tanya, I like Tanya's the boot camp because we meet once a week on Fridays for an hour and a half, and we work with each other, helping to fix each other's issues. What are our pain points? We discuss them. We walk through it. We talk through them. And
how big is your group?
We're going to 20, 25 on average usually per week. But she's got, I don't know how many hundreds of people she's had go through there.
Is it paid?
The Friday call is not, you don't have to worry about it paid. But it is a paid program. It's about $3,000 Canadian.
Oh, okay. Now, the reason I'm asking is we developed a group that meets on Mondays, largely of Woodard people that we've met through the whole Woodard program, and we just formed our own group, and that we were meeting the summer off, but we were meeting every Monday, and we were just going through any variety of topics.
What a great idea, Lori.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it's more like an accountability group, okay?
Yeah.
So we had started it from about 6 or 7 years ago. I was one of 2 people that we finished the Trek program, one of the early
One of the early
programs that Woodard did, that
Yeah.
we did the self-study all by our lonesome selves and completed it. And then I've subsequently done 6 or 7 of their other advisory courses. And I was even talking to Patricia about, now where's the new direction? Controllership.
Yep.
And we know it's coming. Why not go ahead and start pushing it? But Patricia's not going to have that class built out till 2025.
Right.
So, but getting back to where, no, we, find people that you get along with or that are similar to the way you do your business, either other bookkeepers or tax practitioners or advisors or however, and then say, hey, do you have an hour or two to meet either once a week or once a month? And then go through some of those tasks, because a lot of you that are solopreneurs, it's hard to do it when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
It really is hard. Sometimes a CPA, if you're only doing books like me, sometimes a CPA may be of help, but a lot of times they don't know the ins and outs of this software that we're dealing with. All they care about is that trial balance and how to get that tax return out the door.
Yep.
Yep. Actually, we get some CPAs on our calls every week. Mind you, they're CPAs that actually run a bookkeeping division of the practice.
Yep.
So they get it. And it gives you some people to, like, we have Americans and Canadians on those calls. We got American CPAs and American bookkeepers, Canadian CPAs, Canadian bookkeepers. And believe me, it's an eye-opening experience in how
It's
many
different.
deadlines you guys got down in the States. Extensions.
Don't even, don't make me cry.
Yeah. But it comes down to finding that right person, and then we share a lot.
Yeah. So
and maybe for a solopreneur, it could be a situation where, okay, all of a sudden you want to go on vacation. If you and 2 other people in your group are all doing your book similarly, using Financial Sense, doing QuickBooks the same, have the similar types of clients, can one of these other people step in so that you can go on vacation for 2 weeks, and then you can do the same for them? Or all of a sudden, if maybe you get a huge cleanup project and you don't have capacity, can you reach out to a team member because you know them and you've worked with them on these weekly calls? You may think that, this person's capable, and I did this because one of my friends, he's here today, not in this session maybe, at Scaling gave me COVID 2 years ago. And then he felt bad because he gave me COVID. And so I said, fine, you can do this project for me. and it was a 2021 cleanup for a restaurant. We had to recreate.
I don't do restaurants. I don't do restaurants.
Okay.
I did those before COVID.
It's okay. I'm just saying, the point being, I had somebody to turn to.
Yeah. And with this, we're all under NDAs.
Yes.
We're all under NDAs. We signed an NDA before we even started this process. We're all under them. They are continuing. And it's great because we slip up and mention a client's name or something. It can't be repeated. Yep. And if it is repeated, you're in a lot of trouble. It's an ironclad NDA. She had the lawyers go through it. But it's one of those things. She teaches workflow. She teaches all this stuff. But this is the group that I can go back to week and say, okay, I'm having a problem with this workflow. And we can walk through it. Or I'm having a problem with this client. We'll walk through it. It's great. I got to deal with Wise Bank in the near future. That was interesting. The answers I got. So again, this is part of the workflow too. It's like, okay, now I need to adjust my workflow because of Wise Banking. Wise, WISE. It's a bank. It's an online bank.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, because my one client that she's going to be a half deep one. She only uses Wise Banking, because she has to. She has to travel a lot. She's a marketer and influencer. So she's in Europe. She's in the States. She's in South America.
Can you do payroll through them?
I don't know. She's not doing payroll. All of her staff are contractor. But she can't.
I've got it's actually my son who's a digital nomad in Croatia.
Oh.
And while, yes, he's on ADP and I'm paying him into Wells Fargo, it's 30% for him to do cash withdrawal.
Yeah, it is. It's huge. It's huge.
So then I thought, okay, well, can we use Wise? Can we push money into a foreign bank account? And then how big are those fees?
Yeah, I don't know what the fees are like yet because I haven't seen she's actually traveling right now. She's got the engagement letter. She hasn't signed it. But as soon as she does, I get access to Wise Bank and I'm going to start seeing those fees. So it'll be one of those things I'm going to know.
Yeah. I think the more you have, the less it gets, but I'm only talking about one person here.
I don't know about using it for, like, you're just talking about using it to distribute your payroll amounts.
Well, no, and what I thought about doing is, okay, I'm going to run the payroll through ADP because he's American citizen,
Right.
and he will file his tax return. He's over there playing professional ball, but then he needed a job, so he became a digital nomad for my company. And he can still do a lot of stuff through VPN, and we're safe and we're good. But the thought was, okay, if I run payroll and then I do a cash advance push through Wise, can it deposit into a foreign bank account where then he's not subject to 30% exchange rates?
Well, exactly. I've been using Wise. I'm a Canadian bookkeeper. I'm currently living down in Mexico.
Uh-huh.
I've been using Wise for a variety of purposes. I've sent money. I have my Canadian account and my landed US account hooked up through Wise, and I've been sending money in pesos, euros, US dollars, and Canadian dollars, and the fees and the exchange are better than the bank.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I think that's what my client mentioned as well. Yes.
Yeah. So, for example, yesterday I sent 31,000 pesos, and my fee was from my US account. And my fee, other than the exchange, my fee was $1.18.
Yeah, my son gets hit harder than that on just pulling money out of a U.S. bank account at an
Exactly.
ATM machine.
Yeah. The trick, though, what I've found it to be the trick with traveling is actually pulling the money out of the bank, physically getting money out of the bank. That's where they really ding you with the fees.
Yeah.
Yep.
Having traveled in Europe a number of times, using a bank machine over there, you get hit fairly hard. Although I've never heard 30%. That could be a Croatia thing.
It may be, and he found out that if he goes to a Croatian bank, he can take out cash for free, but if he has to take money from Wells Fargo U.S. bank through an ATM machine, and I said that's an ATM charge. Whoever owns the ATM's banking on, we pay the $1.75, $2.50.
Yeah,
over
up to
there
that,
it's only 30%, and unfortunately,
wow,
where
that's
he's
usury.
at, it is.
Hey,
And
Ross.
where he's at in Karlovac is not quite as advanced as we're used to seeing, and everybody does cash.
Yes.
They go to the green market. They buy their food at the green market. Nobody takes credit cards.
Yeah. Same thing. I'm looking at France, and there's a lot of it. There's still a lot of cash over there. North America become very cashless.
Yes.
But everything over in Europe is a debit card. They don't even use credit cards. It's debit cards.
Well, down here in Mexico, everything's cash. Cash.
Yep.
Yeah, I said North America. We're all cash. Oh, Mexico, that's cash. Yeah, well, that's right, because the economy issues and stuff like that.
I'll look at that Wise again because that might be a good option.
Yep.
Yeah,
but anyway, I think we're sort of off topic. We're off topic. We're supposed to be on workflows.
Hey, I'm curious. How many of you are using client requests?
Client request.